Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Joe Yoon, aka Joe Therapy, and in today's video, we are going to go over the 5 best groin and inner thigh stretches. A lot of people tighten the inner thighs, so if that's you, you want to stay tuned because I'm going to show you some great stretches. All right, so the first stretch we are going to hit up is a butterfly stretch. We are going to start by sitting down and we're going to bring our feet together just like this. Kind of an old school, if you're a little bit on the older side and you had gym class, it's kind of one of those stretches you used to do all the time. So feet together, sit up nice and tall, and then just let gravity take your knees down to the floor. If you struggle there, or if you need a little bit bigger stretch, we can grab the feet and then push your elbows into your knees. And you should feel it right deep into the groin. Make sure you're breathing. If you're ever holding your breath, you're probably too far into the stretch. And I like to hold these stretches anywhere from 15 seconds all the way up to 2 minutes, depending on what your goal is. But I'll usually stick around, maybe around 30 seconds to a minute. That's kind of the average. So here, push down, breathe. And that's the first stretch. That's the butterfly stretch. Second stretch is going to be called groin rocking, and we're going to work on one side of the body. So to get set up, we are going to put one knee on the pad, and then we're going to bring one leg out to the side like this. We can have the foot down like this, or we can also have it up this way. Might get a little bit of a different angle on the inner thigh. And then from here, push your hips back, place your hands on the floor, and then all we're going to do here is shift our body back towards the heel. I'm trying to keep a nice straight upper back here, upper back, as we shift back, just like this. You should feel a nice good stretch all the way from here up into your groin. And then we'll rock back forward, and then again, push the hips back and feel the stretch here. It's one of my favorite inner thigh groin stretches. So again, start in this position, bring the leg out, push the hips back, hands on the floor, push the hips back, don't hunch over, keep a nice straight back, and then repeat and bring it back to the starting position. So that's groin rocking, and that's stretch number 2. All right, now let's go into stretch number 3, and it is the frog pose. Can be a little bit awkward if you're in a public place, but it is a great groin stretch. Maybe you want to do it in the middle of the gym. It could be interesting. So we are going to start off with knees wide. We can do hands or forearms on the floor. I'll show you the hands version first. Get the knees wide, toes pointing out, chest out, and then we're going to shift back. So shift back this way, keep the back nice and straight, and you feel a nice, good, intense stretch right on the inner portion of your thigh and your groin. We'll come back this way, and then shift the hips back. If you're super flexible, you can come down onto your forearms and perform the same stretch. So here, and then pushing the hips back. One of my favorite stretches, and when you start doing that all the time, it just feels so much better. It might be pretty intense when you first start and you're a little bit on the tighter side, but you just feel like your hips open up like crazy after you start getting good at it. But you can kind of see why it looks a little bit funny. But that is stretch number 3, and now let's go into the 4th stretch. And the 4th stretch is a half kneeling groin stretch, and we're going to start off in a half kneeling position, and I'm already there. Knee on the floor, and then one leg out in front, and then we're going to swing the leg over to the side, just like this. If we're in this position, very typical hip flexor stretch, but we want to work the groin, so we're going to swing the leg over and try to get this leg in line with the upper body, or as best as you can. And then from here, drive that knee over the toes, just like this, and you'll feel a good stretch right in the groin, inner thigh on this side. I love to do reps here. Bring it this way, come back. So you can do reps. I like to do about 10, or you could also just hold this position too. But one of my favorites, if you want to, you can kind of play around with the angles. So you can bring the foot up forward a little bit, and maybe you'll get a little bit of a different feeling. So play around with it, see what works best for you. And now let's go into the last stretch. And our last stretch for the best groin and inner thigh stretches is a supported side lunge, or a supported Cossack squat. And I'm going to show you a couple different variations, one where you're holding onto something and then one where you're using a band. So I'll have you hold onto a piece of gym equipment or maybe a door frame if you're at your house, and we're going to go into that side lunge. And what happens is when we're holding onto something, it gives us a little bit more support so we don't have to use as much strength to perform the exercise, and you can concentrate on the stretch. So from here, you're holding on. I'm just going to use one hand, and then we're just going to shift over to the side. And because I'm holding on, it's a lot easier to get into this low position. And since we're working on our stretch, it's good because we're getting support. And then you'll come back up, and then we can go over to the other side. Let's go down to this side again, just for the demo, and then come on back up. You can also use something like a band, and this is actually a cool way to do it. You can swing a band or something similar, maybe a towel, and you can actually hold on to it, and then you can go into that same position, just like this, and it gives you some great support. Helps you groove that pattern and that exercise as well. So maybe you're also trying to get stronger too. On top of it, you can use a less resisted band over time, just like that. You can get really deep into the stretch. And that is it for this video and my 5 favorite stretches for the inner thigh and groin. And hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you do, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, comment down below, subscribe, and I'll check you next time.